The golden wheat fields of Nebraska swayed under the morning sun as Emily Carter, an 18-year-old farm girl with dirt on her jeans and a spark in her eyes, tightened the bolts on a strange-looking machine behind her family's barn. Her father, a retired mechanic, had taught her everything about engines, gears, and stubborn metal. But what Emily dreamed of building wasn't just another tractor, it was a homemade, working mini-tank she'd been designing since she was 13. While other kids her age were busy with social media, Emily spent nights sketching armor designs and reading engineering PDFs she downloaded on her old laptop. Her goal was simple: to prove that genius doesn't require a fancy degree, only determination. She'd applied to several top engineering universities across the country, but each rejection letter hit harder than the last. "We regret to inform you." The words haunted her. They didn't see potential in a farm girl with calloused hands and no sponsors. But she wasn't the type to quit. One night, sitting beside her half-finished machine, she whispered to herself, "If they won't give me a chance, I'll build something they can't ignore." By early summer, Emily's tank started taking shape. It wasn't military-graded yet, but it had a reinforced steel frame, bulletproof plating from recycled scrap metal, and a modified diesel engine from an abandoned combine harvester. She installed a remote turret powered by hydraulics, built from her dad's old tractor parts. Neighbors laughed when they saw her working late into the night. "What's the farm girl doing, building a war machine?" they joked. Even the local mechanic shop refused to sell her parts on credit, thinking it was a waste of time. But Emily had something they didn't: a purpose. When the day came to test it, she climbed into the cockpit, heart pounding. The engine roared to life with a deep growl that shook the barn's walls. The machine moved, slowly at first, then with strength and stability. She burst out laughing, tears mixing with dust. Against all odds, the girl who had nothing had built something unstoppable. Her invention caught attention the most unexpected way. A storm hit the area, causing a flash flood that trapped vehicles and swept through the nearby town. Emily, without thinking, drove her machine straight into the flooded streets, using its reinforced treads to rescue trapped families and pull vehicles to safety. Videos of the rescue went viral overnight. People called it the Nebraska Tank Girl. News outlets flooded her small farm. Reporters surrounded her barn, asking how she'd managed to design something so advanced without formal training. Her story reached Washington, D.C. faster than she ever dreamed possible. A week later, 2 U.S. military representatives showed up on her doorstep. Emily's father wiped his hands nervously while one of the officers smiled. "Miss Carter," he said, "we've seen your machine in action. The Department of Defense would like to invite you to demonstrate it at our testing grounds." Emily could barely speak. She nodded, clutching the wrench she'd built the tank with, the same one her father had given her when she was 12. At the testing base, rows of officers, engineers, and scientists watched as Emily climbed into her tank. They didn't expect much from a farm-built invention, but when she maneuvered it through sand, water, and steep inclines effortlessly, the silence in the crowd spoke louder than applause. Then came the moment that stunned everyone. She activated a secondary system, an emergency hydraulic stabilizer she'd invented herself, allowing the tank to remain upright even under explosive force. The chief engineer turned to the general and whispered, "That's not in any of our designs." After the demonstration, a tall officer approached her. "Emily," he said with a grin, "how soon can you move to Virginia? We could use minds like yours." Emily blinked, her voice trembling. "Sir, are you offering me a job?" He nodded. "More than that. We're offering you a future." Months later, Emily stood at the Pentagon's Innovation Lab, no longer the poor farm girl everyone doubted, but a civilian engineer working with the U.S. military's Advanced Vehicle Division. Her prototype was being refined into a real reconnaissance model. She often thought back to those rejection letters. Sometimes she'd smile and whisper, "Thank you for saying no." Because every no had driven her closer to her true purpose, her story spread across the nation. Not as a tale of luck, but of relentless willpower. She became a symbol for every young dreamer told they weren't good enough. One quiet evening, as she stood overlooking the test field, her father joined her. "You really did it, kid," he said, pride soft in his voice. "Built yourself a future out of rust and hope." Emily smiled, looking at the sleek tank prototype shining under the lights. Guess the farm girl had something to prove. And when the first official prototype rolled out with her name engraved on the control panel, Emily knew her dream wasn't just about engineering. It was about proving that even those from the smallest towns can build something big enough to change the world. Because sometimes rejection is just the world's way of asking, "Show me what you can really do."